right, thanks Megatron. And as stated, we're going to be getting going here in just a moment between St. Louis and Bridgetown. So to get started here, we're going to do some rosters. St. Louis will be wearing black here in their new black unis. At number 1, the Saint. Number 11, Corey Porter. 0260, Spin Diesel. 314, Double XL. 386, David Metcalf. 506, Matthew Utendorf. 5150, Hulk. 618, Bled Zeppelin. 66, Screech Around. 7, Magnum PIMP. 73, Kyle Stark. 82, Percy Control. 86, Wrecking Bill. And 88, The Doc. For Bridgetown, wearing gray this evening, 103 Loose Wheel, 12 Tommy Gunn, 17 Austin, 216 Jukebox Hero, 303 Il Nino, 31 Ramrod, 33 Scott Free, 357 Demolition Man, 440 Captain Obvious, 512 Cosmo Damage, 69 Don Juan, 82 Munster, 85 Shreddy Mercury, and 99 Defensive Destroyer. So these two teams have faced each other 5 times previously. The Gatekeepers have come out ahead in all 5 instances. However, there have been some rough and tumble and very close contests between these two squads. Last time they faced off was actually at the MRDA tournament, the Gateway to the Best 2. And that score was 229 Gatekeepers, 85 Bridgetown, and we are underway here, and it's Magnum PIMP starting off the game. And that is Il Nino jamming for Bridgetown. And Magnum PIMP quickly your lead jammer here, so they're going to start off the game. Double XL working on Il Nino. Nice cycling back. Magnum forced out on the, coming out of turn 2, he's going to have to cycle all the way back. And
hi, I'm here too. Things are happening. Still no lead jammer.
Actually, Magnum is lead jam. He has secured that first scoring pass going on now. And already we have ourselves a power jam as Il Nino takes a seat in the penalty box. So first scoring pass here for Magnum PIMP. He's forced out. He's going to call that jam off rather than push the situation. So 4 points there for St. Louis. We'll have your overlay here soon. So Debaucher's Prime, or Corey Porter as he goes by now, will start things off unopposed on the jammer line. Still probably I'd say roughly half the time left in that penalty to Il Nino.
We got a low block being assessed on Percy Control.
Corey Porter fighting against Jukebox Hero. Gets by him. He's going to be your lead jammer.
Nino now standing in the penalty box as Bridgetown prepares for Debaucher's Prime / Porter's arrival.
So all 4 blockers out there for Bridgetown. Corey Porter trying to work against that Triforce defense you're seeing everybody use these days. Il Nino trying to fight his way through as the jam comes to an end. Double XL blows him up. Corey Porter gets through. That's 5 points. Il Nino has completed his initial pass as well.
Noticing that St. Louis is comfortable and setting up with a flat 3 wall, and then we'll move dynamically as needed. No points again for Bridgetown here, mere 2 points on that last pass.
Yeah, St. Louis in a little bit of a different situation coming into this year, as normally they've been trying to get over the hump and get that championship. Now they're the team with the target on their back, and everyone's gunning for them.
Score now, 11 Gatekeepers, 0 Menace. I would say about 26 minutes remaining in the first period, if I had to guess.
Close, 27.
Screech Around now jamming for the Gatekeepers. Going up gets the one and only Shreddy Mercury, lead jammer for the Bridgetown Menace.
So penalty there on, I believe that was 193 for Bridgetown. Or 103 actually. That's Loose Wheel taking a seat in the penalty box. And we got a track cut call on Screech Around, so a power jam situation here now for Bridgetown.
Shreddy Mercury is definitely the guy you want on the track. He tiptoes right over. Turn 3 apex, puts up 5 big ones, gets them on the board 11-5 with Gatekeepers leading. Loose Wheel, the only blocker in the box for Bridgetown. He's a new transfer from Twin Cities and is described as a beast. 4-3 blocker advantage, jamming now. Screech around in the penalty box, and Herman Munster goes by Topher.
So the Doc, a transfer from Texas, out there with double XL. The Saint and Percy Control, who's now cycling Munster back. So trying to finish off the penalty kill here. 3-wall up front by St. Louis, working against Munster. Munster takes a tumble in the center of the track.
And he's going to go in for a blocking with the head penalty.
So this will be a full 30-second penalty as Screechron had already left the penalty box.
Lead jammer still up for grabs.
Bridgetown doing a nice job. Screechron
and
does.
That's Demolition Man. He is actually a little hard of hearing, so if you see him bend over, try to listen to the official. That's what's happening. Big hit there.
So Screechron, your lead jammer. Penalty comes to an end. Munster back on the track. Gatekeepers set up to receive him. Jukebox Hero doing a nice job.
And a skating out of bounds penalty. You saw him step out of bounds. You know, we didn't have a good angle on it, of course.
True.
But that is the call that's been made on the track. And a power jam here now turns around in favor of Herman Munster, and it looks like he's possibly broken his skate. Is that a Rose City problem or what?
He's got to do a little bit of skate maintenance.
No lead. He's not lead, so can't exactly call it. Oh, he's thrown by Saints, but manages to stay in bounds, and that is his initial pass.
Gatekeepers finding themselves in some penalty trouble here early with a full penalty box. Double XL and Percy Control sitting in the penalty box right now.
Out of play penalty called at the end of the jam.
Oh, they're going to get
Munster
Munster for initiating contact with an out of play blocker. Wow. So a hot mess here early.
Sure. Well, these boys, they're so passionate. I love
Yes,
men's
they are.
derby. And an official review has been called by Bridgetown Menace. You see Captain Jukebox Hero stating his case.
Well, and these two teams, a lot of respect for one another. They always have a lot of fun when they play together, but the tensions do tend to run high once that whistle blows.
Bridgetown runs a 3-captain rotation. Tommy Gunn, Jukebox Hero, and Captain Obvious. They all have different responsibilities, trying to, you know, get everybody in peace, practicing hard together. As you know, captaining is really hard work. We're fortunate here at the Big O that our head ref has a microphone. He will relay the outcome of this official review.
So don't forget, in July, it's RollerCon.
Never heard of it.
Beautiful Las Vegas, Nevada. 8 tracks, 70 coaches, 160 challenges, 24 bouts, uncountable seminars, social events, and vendors, plus 1 uterus-shaped 24-hour pool. That's right, that's what my type says, uterus-shaped. Derby Summer Camp every July in Las Vegas. That's RollerCon.
Bring some sunscreen.
But it's a dry heat.
Yes.
I'd like to thank Ty Bach Productions. They're the ones that are supplying us with the fantastic feed that you're watching right now this weekend on WFTDA.tv. Be sure to watch social media, as we'd like to give a thanks to all the photographers for contributing their time and talent to shoot the Big O. Special shout out to Steve Sharkey Mancini, who has organized the talent, this crew. So watch social media, as I'm sure you're going to see lots of photos from this weekend's event pop up here real soon.
Absolutely, and of course, always credit your photographers and do not alter their work.
That's right.
I have an Ophelia's fun fact here.
Oh.
Fun fact, this is the 2016 is the 3rd annual Menace calendar, and they're already planning next year's, and they say it's going to be hotter and better than ever.
Oh.
Yeah.
Will they be able to ship that?
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes flammable contents, you know, they're pretty strict about shipping that stuff.
Parcel companies.
Asbestos packaging.
all parcels, large and small.
I see what you did
there.
So don't forget Big O this year. They want you to send pictures of your pets enjoying the Big O from home. So hashtag Big O Cats and Big O Dogs. We love to see our furry fans. Saw some funny photos earlier where cats were actually looking at the screen when the photos were taken. Some pretty entertaining stuff. Kudos and thanks to the Big O Tech team for making the magic happen behind the scenes. Call out Izzy, Jake, Grimes, Bernard, and Ryan for the great job they did. So after the official review, I still see Munster sitting in the penalty box. I'm going to assume that the review was unsuccessful.
Okay, let's do that. Jamming now, Magnum.
Oh, bit of a pile up there as the jam started.
4-2 blocker advantage in favor of Bridgetown Menace.
Oh, now 4-1.
Momentarily.
And Magnum PIMP, your lead jammer, as
Incredible.
he fights through that. Double XL and Percy Control have re-entered play, so a big two-man team of Double XL and Led Zeppelin. Munster has re-entered play as well, trying to work his way past Led Zeppelin, and a forearm call on Percy Control. I believe that's already his 3rd.
Sure is effective. We just saw him screen for Magnum, open up a huge lane on the outside, and prepare for Topher to enter that pack. Took him right in the chest, and that's when he acquired that forearm penalty.
Yeah, that's not good. 22:30 to go. Percy Control already with 3 penalties.
Looks like Topher picked up 4 points there, and 9 points on that.
Looks like
jam.
Led Zeppelin picked up a penalty there as well. So Spin Diesel, the lone blocker out there for St. Louis.
Don Juan making his jammer debut for Bridgetown Menace. Picking up lead jammer there, Don Juan, very unique style. Tripod here of Demolition Man, Tommy Gunn, and Cosmo doing what they can to stifle Porter, who may be listed by another name.
So Percy Control and Led Zeppelin re-enter play. Gatekeepers back to full strength. Corey Porter still trying to complete the initial pass, attacks the seam pretty well.
He's giving a hug to Cosmo there, pushing him forward from turn 2 through the straightaway. Big force out here by Led Zeppelin, recycling Don Juan back to turn 2. And a cut track penalty now being assessed on Cosmo.
Now Tommy Gunn heads to the penalty box. Corey Porter still trying to complete the initial pass. Does finally do so. Meanwhile, Don Juan sent back. Percy Control with a nice hit, forcing them out. Percy Control picking up another penalty. That's his fourth. So a three-man wall of the Doc, Led Zeppelin, and Spin Diesel working on Don Juan right now. Meanwhile, Corey Porter back around looking to put more points on the board.
Boy, that was the jam that never ended.
So 9 points there for Bridgetown, 4 for St. Louis.
As you mentioned, Percy Control already beat 4. Less than 10 minutes of play has elapsed. I don't see anyone else in penalty trouble here. He just really loves playing Bridgetown Menace.
So
Jamming now, David Metcalf going up against El Nino.
Kyle Stark on his way to the penalty box. David Metcalf going to be your lead jammer. El Nino free of the pack as well. Percy Control re-enters plate. Gatekeepers back to full strength. Scratch that. Kyle Stark takes a seat. 4-on-3 pack advantage in favor of Bridgetown.
Well, David Metcalf manages to shake off a big hit from Captain Obvious. Kept his center of gravity on the inside of that track and managed to pull through.
Yeah, very well timed call off as well, not allowing Bridgetown to get any points on that jam. 4 there for St. Louis, however.
They now extend their lead to 12, score of 18-30. St. Louis in the lead. A little under 19 minutes to go in this first period. Jamming now, Magnum going up against Freddie Mercury. Wow, right around the outside, manages to hang on by 1 foot. Lead jammer, Magnum PIMP, Justice Shreddy out races him. It's gonna hit the pack and Magnum will call that off, 0-0 jam.
Yep, trying to kill the penalty for Kyle Stark. Unfortunately, Gatekeepers defenders not able to get up to the front and take control of the pack. So Kyle Stark still stands in the penalty box.
Topher jamming again, having some words with the outside pack ref. Perhaps it's getting a little chippy as they set up.
Kyle Stark returns to play as Screech around tries to work his way up, gets a lane on the outside, but he's going to get called for the track cut. And
so that's a power jam in favor of Munster and Bridgetown Menace. Doing a fantastic job of containing this very powerful St. Louis team.
Spin Diesel with an apex jump to get in a position to defend.
Wrecking Bill holding down, bracing that, well, that floor pack was dissolved there by Double D and Jukebox Hero.
Gatekeepers doing a really nice job cycling through blockers.
You can see Topher asking his blockers to hold back.
Yeah.
He knew Screech was about to exit the track. Topher, of course, being the head coach for the Wheels of Justice. Big day for him. 5-point jam there for the Gatekeepers. They extend their lead.
So 16:30 to go here in the first half. St. Louis 30. I think that's going to change though. Or not. Bridgetown Menace 23. So it's Don Juan out there jamming for Bridgetown, going up against Corey Porter for St. Louis. If you're just joining us, St. Louis in the black and green, Bridgetown in gray and purple, and Don Juan, the Devastator, headed to the penalty box for a back block. Power jam here, St. Louis. Number 11, Corey Porter, trying to get to work, but the Bridgetown defense doing a nice job slowing him down at the moment on the back straightaway.
Gatekeepers holding back. Cosmo trying to put the kibosh here on him, but he manages to keep a hand down. Something, yeah, tells me that's a forearm penalty. Cosmo shaking his head about that one. Weird. That was a power jam kill. Don Juan returning to the track just as Porter grabs lead jammer status.
Corey Porter taking his time, getting around the track right now, looking to see what he's got to work with. Meanwhile, the dock being sent to the penalty box.
Right down the middle of the Gatekeeper tripod. Completes his initial pass. Beautiful offense being swept by Saint, number 1 for the Gatekeepers.
It's a well-timed call off, does not allow any points for Bridgetown. 4 there for St. Louis, and they were very hard-fought points. Both teams with 1 player in the box, so it'll be a 3-on-3 pack when this jam begins. So evidently we have a timeout. And it's a timeout St. Louis.
Looks like both teams have 12 penalties apiece. We're just completed the first quarter of this game. Score of 23 for the Menace, 34 for St. Louis.
It'll be interesting to see just how much playtime Percy Control gets as he sits on 4 right now. Pick those 4 up very early in rapid succession. Thanks to the WFTDA for bringing modern roller derby into the homes of millions of viewers through their work with ESPN, as you saw earlier this evening in the 2 ESPN games. They were fantastic, and we're going to get up back underway here in just a moment. Here we go.
Nino jamming for the Menace. Push to the inside track boundary. And David Metcalf jamming now for St. Louis. Nino narrowly not avoiding a cut track. That's tough luck. He tried his very best. So power jam now in favor of David Metcalf and St. Louis Gatekeepers, who are wearing black jerseys with green trim.
So David Metcalf does finally get free. He's your lead jammer. So power jam underway. Ability here for the St. Louis team to put points on the board. Working their way towards the pivot line now. David Metcalf trying to weave his way through the pack. We've got a
beautiful force out there. That's number 17, Austin. Formerly known as Elysium. He's rejoined the Menace, this time as a blocker. Used to be a primary jammer back when Bridgetown Menace was known as Portland Men's Roller Derby. Just to give you an idea of how well Bridgetown Menace is performing right now, score of 23-38, St. Louis leading. The last time these two teams met up, which wasn't that long ago, last August, the Menace lost by 192 points.
Yep, nice performance here early by Portland. And Magnum PIMP going to be your lead jammer as he found a lane on the outside. El Nino about 40 feet behind him.
Wow.
Oh.
Jukebox Hero takes him out on the inside line, but it looks like he's hurting.
And they're going to call a penalty on Magnum PIMP.
I assume that was a high block penalty during his counter block.
That's the only thing I can think of. 5 points there for El Nino.
Bridgetown Menace lining up for potential offense, and there Cosmo pokes the inside lane open. El Nino, big hits. That must be Hulk.
Oh. Hulk smash.
And he was very respectful, checked on him, skated away, gave him some room. Looked like just a killer hit into his right shoulder. Nothing illegal, but doesn't mean it's not painful.
No.
Nino's going to shake that one off.
Looks okay. He's stretching his shoulder a little bit.
Might want to get that taped up. The jam was called off for his injury, correct?
I do believe it was.
All right, so he will sit for the next 3 jams.
So GateKeepers at full strength, Bridgetown at full strength.
That was 4 points for Magnum, 3 points acquired. 8 points, excuse me, acquired for Menace. Score now 31-42. Screech around jamming for the GateKeepers. And Shreddy Mercury wearing the star for Bridgetown Menace. We're under 12 minutes in this first period to go. An official timeout.
As has been the case with the GateKeepers games so far this weekend. Very physical affairs. As they dispatched Puget Sound last night. Another knockdown, drag-out affair here.
Absolutely. Menace taking the front pivot line, all 4 ready to go. Offensive sweep from the inside. That's number 506, Matthew Ottendorf. Screech around trying to push up the middle, chooses the inside path, but Captain Obvious closes the door. And Loose Wheel pushes him around the outside. Shreddy Mercury right over that inside apex for lead jammer.
Yeah, can't give Mercury any room.
Wow. Throws a shoulder into Captain Obvious, and he's gonna pick up. Is that a forearm penalty?
Did not see the signal.
It was a beautiful hit.
Yeah. Unfortunately, it wasn't legal.
3 points picked up there by Shreddy Mercury, shutting out St. Louis in that jam, bringing our score 34 for Menace, 42 for the GateKeepers.
Only 8 points separating these two squads with just over 10 and a half to go here in the first half.
Munster.
4-on-3 pack advantage in favor of Bridgetown.
Munster versus Magnum on the line. Jukebox Hero trying to go in for an offensive sweep on Saints in the front of that pack. Does not work. Magnum PIMP, lead jammer.
And the Saint able to knock Munster down, and that slowed him enough for the GateKeepers to catch him. But then Munster with a nice little pirouette on the inside line of turns 3 and 4 gets free.
He's so fancy.
Magnum cycled back, and he's going to call that off.
Looks like a couple of the Menace skaters asking for a skating out of bounds call. They do not get it. 1 solo point there for Magnum.
Yeah, Jukebox Hero definitely wanted a skating on a bounds penalty there.
He was
Very
frantically
animated. Yes.
like, yeah.
Juke has always been an animated one, formerly
Sure
of the
is.
St. Louis GateKeepers.
Clear penalty box again going into this jam. Debaucherous Prime jamming for the GateKeepers against Don Juan, the Devastator.
Love that name. That's a great name.
Prime pushing up forward against the 3 tripod. Offense there being played by Wrecking Bill. And a cut track now being called on Prime. This is now a power jam Just kidding.
Oh.
It's a cut track on Don Juan.
And a Congo line to the penalty box right now, as each team has a jammer and a blocker in the box. Corey Porter released back into play.
Got ourselves a 2-minute jam on our hands. That sounds fun.
Now Kyle Stark on his way to the penalty box. And Spin Diesel as well.
Full penalty box, full as it gets. He is waved back onto the track. Don Juan has completed his initial pass. Don Juan up the inside. He's going to pick up a grand slam, 5 points. Some hitting here. That's Loose Wheel with the big hits. Don Juan with another 5 points. And we have a lead change in favor of Bridgetown Menace. The crowd here, obviously locals to Portland, going crazy. We call ourselves Team Purple, and our fans and our teammates are at every single Wheels and Axles of Annihilation and Rosebuds and Menace bout.
Meanwhile, penalties being called fast and furiously. Another 5-point pass there for Don Juan, going to add to the lead.
15 points so far at the end of that jam. Lots of energy here in this room.
A very full crowd here at the Lane Event Center in Eugene, Oregon. And now we're going to have an official review, it appears, by St. Louis.
As you mentioned, official review being used by St. Louis. I won't bother to conjecture as to what that might be. Some new faces to Bridgetown Menace this season. Freak Style, competitive dance skater. Loose Wheel, as I mentioned, from Twin Cities, and the return of Elysium, who's wearing the name Chris Austin on his jersey. And we got this dude named Scott Quigley from Denver. Strong relationship with the Bridgetown Menace and the Wheels of Justice. They coach each other. They hang out together.
I'd like to thank all the vendors that make this event possible, such as Bont, Radar Wheels, Moda, Adam. A full complement of vendors here at the Big O.
This time it's Bridgetown Menace with a full count in the penalty box. 2 sitting, 1 standing. And of course they choose the almighty number 512, Cosmo Damage. Try and break Il Nino out as soon as the official review has been completed.
Would appear that Magnum PIMP is probably going to be the jammer for St. Louis. Percy controls Saint and Double Excel out there blocking wise for St. Louis. Spin Diesel sits in the penalty box.
The crowd is very energized. As I mentioned before, Menace really performing to the absolute best of their capabilities right now.
This is the last game of the day here on track 1.
Definitely the longest day of this tournament.
Yeah.
53 games going on this weekend at the Big O.
Not seeing any changes in any way, shape, or form, so looks like we're gonna get back underway with the status quo.
Oh, right up the inside is Magnum PIMP lead jammer. You saw Cosmo not even bother to play defense. It was in point of fact that Magnum was going to get out, so he was going in to play offense. Already 5 points by Magnum as Menace trying to control the Gatekeepers. Mil Nino finally making his way out. He's asking for another pass. He's going to trust his blockers here. He is at a pack advantage.
And so far it is working out as Magnum just races along the outside. He's scoring points at will right now, already 15 on this jam.
This is why St. Louis is always so strong. There's trust in their athleticism. Force out there by Cosmo. 4 points being picked up by El Nino. And that jam is called off. See our jam ref conferring with our outside pack ref. Gotta love the reciprocity and communication between our officials here at the Big O. Three more there.
So I believe that was 18 total, 17 total.
17, yeah.
So just like that, St. Louis back on top by 7.
David Metcalf back on the line for the Gatekeepers, going up against Shreddy Mercury. 4-3 pack advantage for St. Louis. Cut track being called on David Metcalf. Power jam for Shreddy. He's really good at stuff.
Yes, he is.
Takes a face dive on the ground, but managed to put a foot down on the track to pick up that cut track penalty. We have ourselves our second 2-minute jam this game. That's when things start to get a little chippy. On the outside. Oh! Did he just stay in bounds?
How I don't know how he did that.
That GIF will be shown to my grandchildren someday.
Wow. Unable to stay in that time, however. And Jukebox Hero cycles him all the way back. Shreddy Mercury back in play as well. And once again, David Metcalf walking the tightrope on the inside. 5 points there, and Bled Zeppelin just forces Shreddy out.
Shreddy trying to find the outside. Manages to hang on. He loves what he calls line hygiene, but unfortunately, he needs to go clean up after himself as being sent to the penalty box on a cut track. That would be his second cut track this jam alone as it winds down. Seconds left on the clock. David Metcalf picking up 5 more, and they extend their lead.
So, yeah, 4 points there for Shreddy. Looks like 10 total for Metcalf.
Right. 13-point game now in favor of St. Louis. Shreddy in the penalty box. A few more seconds to serve. Probably in the 18 to 20 second range. Jamming now. Who we got back there? Screech around. Pushes on the outside. The door is closed by Scott Free, aka Scott Quigley. And a forearm going to be assessed. Maybe I should have waited for the ref to signal that.
It was pretty clear.
Good call, ref.
Screech around going to be your lead jammer. Austin in the penalty box. Shreddy Mercury on his way back out. Gatekeepers aware of his arrival. Bled Zeppelin forces him out.
Shreddy being recycled way back. That's number 618, Bled Zeppelin. Scott Free headed to the penalty box, joins his teammate Chris Austin, and Screech around picking up 5 more points. But there goes Shreddy completing his initial pass.
Meanwhile, looks like 4 more for Screech around.
Not really sure why he's waiting to call it. He's just killing penalty time for the Menace as their blockers leave the penalty box around the outside.
Well, that's
All
why
right.
he didn't call it. 'Cause
I
he
would
was
like 5 more points, please. Here you go. I assume that's Jammer refs sound like. Clear penalty box now for Bridgetown Menace.
Screecher on getting some help from Percy Control offensively. Meanwhile, Percy Control picks up another penalty. That's his 5th.
Really interesting when I'm watching Screech skate here. He's pushing up against that tripod. He is pausing pretty regularly to see if he can pull that clockwise block.
Yep.
I'm sure it's very effective for him.
5 more points there, another grand slam.
So it's 19 points so far, I believe.
That is correct.
And St. Louis shaking off a really competitive first half here as they regain control of this game and up the inside. Let's make that a 23-point jam.
Right at the whistle, Screech turns on the afterburners and picks up those last 4 points. Really nice awareness there by Screech around.
Score now is 61 for Menace, 93 for St. Louis. Just over a minute remaining in this first period. Munster wearing the jammer cap again, going up against Magnum. It's a matchup we've been seeing pretty consistently so far.
Both jammers cycled back. Munster up front against Spin Diesel, Bled Zeppelin. Magnum at the back against all the Bridgetown players.
Munster, one more to beat, and Bled Zeppelin. Piece of cake, right? Spins to the outside, picks up lead jammer. Bled Zeppelin with the discipline to let him go and not pick up an additional penalty.
Tommy Gunn on his way to the penalty box, as is Munster for, I didn't see the call. So now a power jam from Magnum PIMP, who was looking for a star pass, but is now held on to it.
Which means he doesn't pick up points that pass. And he has forfeited his lead jammer status.
So this will go the full 2 minutes and will end the half.
Period clock has expired. And a little over 30 seconds remaining on the jam clock. Cosmo trying very carefully not to pick up the back block penalty. I'm seeing a lot of these St. Louis blockers take big hits and get hit out of bounds, put a hand down, but retain their skates inbound, which is legal.
Yes, it is.
Great footwork there by Magnum. He's going to pick up 5 more points. Demolition Man headed to the penalty box now for Menace, as well as Tommy Gunn. Menace losing their focus and strength.
Oh, and now a cavalcade of penalties here.
Cosmo picking up a low block penalty.
It's been a wild and woolly first half.
Okay. Well, 10 points for Magnum PIMP at the last jam of this half. 3 points from Munster. And we'll round out this first half with Bridgetown Menace 64 points to St. Louis's 103.
So I believe we'll have about a 10-minute half, and then we'll be back here for second half action. So until then, go grab a drink and get settled in, because you're in for a wild ride in the second half.
Absolutely. We'll see you back here shortly.
No break-in period, and are great for skaters with skinnier ankles. They also have a 100% Australian full-grain leather outer and a completely heat-moldable hand-laid fiberglass base. Get that premium performance without the premium price tag. Boom. Come over to the Bomb booth right now and check out this rad new skate.
A clear path through the pack almost never exists. So we fight and make our own.
Roller Derby Athletics takes the guesswork out of off-skate training, helping you become safe, strong, and unstoppable. Here's what skaters from around the world are saying.
Lots of great advice and things that helped me after I broke my ankle and had
I've lost 90 pounds and discovered my A game. Love that site and the workouts.
Rehab has been amazing. It's really worth the investment in
Booty
programs.
Quake rocks. You won't regret the investment.
Want to see for yourself? Sign up today for our free Basics Builder program and transform your game with Roller Derby Athletics.
A lot of very impressive people in roller derby.
This was definitely a proud moment for me, wearing the black, white, and red.
I care about this thing more than I care about any other article of clothing in my wardrobe.
This represents to me like 7 years of blood, sweat, and tears.
Glitter is fun and hardcore. I've learned that it's hardcore.
My uniform is always in pristine condition.
My truck is purple, my shoes are purple, my underwear are purple.
It takes a lot of drive and a lot of passion to keep going in roller derby.
Sometimes when you play roller derby, you're just kind of like, why am I doing this? This is so weird.
I just can't imagine that I'd get more kicks like playing golf than I do hitting a you know? Feels good.
My name is Rachel Rotten.
My name is Midge Wilhelm.
I'm Fifi Nomenon.
I'm Jackie Daniels.
My name's Steph Maney.
Hi, I'm Scald Eagle.
And S1.
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 And S1 is part of my uniform.
The Arius Platinum is packed with new features. Reinforced toe section. Increased toe stop clamping power. Winged truck with split cushion design for easy assembly and installation. The new Arius Platinum, performance redefined.
Hey, this is Dan from S1 Helmets. We're in the testing lab today, testing helmets to see if they pass the multiple impact certification test. We're going to be testing 3 helmets today. There's a soft foam helmet with EVA foam and a terry cloth liner. There's a hockey helmet with triple density EVA foam. The S1 Lifer helmet with EPS fusion foam. All 3 of these helmets are marketed as multiple impact helmets. We're going to test all of them today and see which ones actually pass the test. The multiple impact test is when we drop a helmet to achieve a velocity of 4.57 meters per second. This simulates a 10-mile-an-hour impact or a 4-foot drop. The same helmet is tested 3 times in the same location. The helmet must reduce the energy pulse to under 300 Gs each time. Anything over 300 Gs can result in a traumatic brain injury or a severe concussion. In summary, the soft foam helmet with EVA foam and the hockey helmet with triple density foam did not pass the multiple impact test. The S1 Lifer helmet with EPS fusion foam did pass the multiple impact test.
At Roller Derby Athletics, we take the guesswork out of off-skate training so you can focus on being fierce. We help you transform your game without a lot of time or equipment. With 5 training programs plus all-star memberships, there's an option to suit every athlete. And we train skaters worldwide with high-quality video instruction and online support. At Roller Derby Athletics, we empower you to be safe, strong, and unstoppable. Want to see for yourself? Sign up today for our free Basics Builder program.
Hi, Ivana Spankin and Trish the Dish here to tell you about Sin City Skates. Sin City Skates began in our living room in 2005 and has since grown into this 2,000 square foot warehouse and showroom where we stock everything for derby. If it's derby related, we probably have it. Need help? With a combined on-track derby experience of over 24 years and still playing, we test everything we sell and we know the difference between facts and our opinions. We're always happy to share both with you to help you make the right decisions. So call us, SinCitySkates.com.
I love teamwork when it comes naturally, and it's almost like your teammate is an extension of your own body. That anticipation, where you've worked cerebrally through strategy and skills, and suddenly you're out there in a game and it all comes naturally because you know each other. I love that.
So when I first went into Fast Girl Skates, it was like being a kid in a candy
I skate
shop.
on the Antec AR1 boot with Crazy Venus plates and Adam B-Rod wheels.
As I've grown as a skater, Fast Girl has also helped my skates to grow with me.
What's your favorite thing that you got at the store?
Probably my gear. I'm Double Banks and I'm a Fast Girl.
I'm Vex Factor and I'm a Fast Girl.
I'm a Salted Peanut and I'm a Fast Girl.
And I'm from Jamrock and I'm a Fast Girl.
You can be a Fast Girl too.
I wish I knew where. Oh, wait, there we go.
Hi.
I hear it with a hot mic.
Perfect. All right, welcome back. Bridgetown Menace versus the St. Louis Gatekeepers. Score currently 64 for the Menace, 103 for St. Louis. Coming out of that first half, we have a 70% lead jammer status in favor of the Gatekeepers. So that makes it 30% for Bridgetown. I'm really good at math, apparently.
Yes. Leading all scoring with St. Louis, Magnum with 48, Screech 25, Metcalf 18, Porter 15. For Bridgetown, Don Juan 24, Shreddy 16, El Nino 12, and Munster 12. So we're about to get back underway here, and that looks like Don Juan on the line, and is that Kyle Stark? It is, starting off the second half. Kyle Stark, who made his jammer debut for St. Louis yesterday.
There he
and
goes.
He is going to be your lead jammer.
Don Juan still trying to make his way around the outside. Great footwork there. Manages to keep them both in bounds. Tries to work his way around Spin Diesel. Cannot do it, but Spin Diesel continues his forward momentum. And so Don Juan is able to hop back in.
Kyle Stark actually playing defense there for a moment. Trying to slow things down. And he's going to just call that jam off.
That's a 5-point natural gain slam for Kyle Stark to start this second half off. Taking us to a score of 64 for the Menace, 108 for St. Louis. As soon as we'll get that overlay back up on the scoreboard here.
Bridgetown down 2 blockers to start this jam.
And we're looking at about 31 penalties so far for Bridgetown Menace, 28 for St. Louis, so pretty equal on both sides.
But a lot of them. Corey Porter just fighting his way through, gets lead. Shreddy Mercury out there trying to work his way through the 4 wall of St. Louis.
Beautiful tap out at the end there. That's is that Matthew Udendorf?
Yeah, no, would be the Saints.
Ah.
Oh, double excel with a big hit on Shreddy Mercury.
And he'll be exiting the track, headed to the penalty box. Shreddy Mercury through, has completed his initial pass.
Let's see, 2 points there for Bridgetown, 4 for St. Louis. A little bit late on the call off there, and that cost St. Louis a couple points.
That makes it 66 for Menace, 112 for the Gatekeepers, with 27 and a half minutes remaining in this bout. Setting up now, Munster jamming for Bridgetown up against Magnum. Yet again, that matchup.
Bridgetown up 1 blocker, 4-on-3 pack advantage.
Bledslep embracing that 3-wall, 3 tripod with Spin Diesel and Wrecking Bill. A penalty assessed on Spin Diesel. Munster working on 2 more, managing to stay up on his toes. And that's number 618, Bled Zeppelin, headed to the penalty box. Munster has picked up lead jammer, and Magnum headed to the penalty box for a forearm penalty.
So penalties been the story of the game, a lot of them. So double excel, the lone.
Whistle. Not sure what the penalty.
Yeah, so whistle, but I didn't see any signal.
Topher, 1 more to beat. Beautiful hit there. Double XL takes him out with his shoulder and protects his point, I believe. No, clockwise block, directional block being assessed there on Double XL. And 4 points there assessed for Munster. 9 total, bringing them up to 75. 8 points in the previous jam for the Gatekeepers. So 75 for Bridgetown Menace, 120 for the Gatekeepers.
So this jam will begin with Portland, the lone jammer. Penalty quickly comes to an end. Magnum PIMP back out.
Nino lead jammer for Bridgetown.
So star pass to the Saint. El Nino looking to put points on the board, gets a seam, gets through. That's going to be, let's see. Looking for a point total here.
4 points there for Nino. 79 now for Menace, 120 for St. Louis Gatekeepers. On the line is Don Juan, the Devastator for Bridgetown, up against Screech Around.
Both teams down one blocker. Double XL standing in the penalty box. He'll be returning shortly. A forearm call on Don Juan, the Devastator. So power jam here for Screech Around, who tiptoes on the inside line and is your lead jammer. So the penalty barrage continues for both teams. Screech Around just hammers into the wall.
Well, he's baiting them. He's going to hit that wall and look for that offensive sweep. It is effective in this case. 5 points here for Screech Around as they extend their lead. That's a 45-point lead at this point.
Oh, just forced out to the inside, and Screech Around's just going to go ahead and call that one off after picking up 3 more.
He iced Don Juan, who is standing in the penalty box. 2 to 3 seconds remaining to serve. Don Juan likes the challenge, though. David Metcalf back out there for the Gatekeepers.
Both teams with a full complement of blockers.
Hey, we have a score and a scoreboard for you folks at home. Thank you for tuning in to the Big O. Last game of the night on track 1, you're watching Bridgetown Menace take on the St. Louis Gatekeepers.
Don Juan just barreling his way through.
Very careful to enter that track legally around the outside. He is the lowest skater out there, male or female, and he picks up lead jammer out of that penalty box. Big force out there. Kyle Stark with that force out, managing to stay on his feet. And the star pass over to Kyle Stark.
That's one of the things with the addition of Kyle Stark to the jammer rotation is now he goes out there as a very dangerous pivot.
4 points were picked up by Don Juan in this case. 83 to 128. St. Louis just played Puget Sound yesterday here at the Big O, defeated them soundly 75 to 240. Really impressive to see Bridgetown already break into more points than the indomitable Puget Sound Outcasts, who are the Bridgetown rivals. Here we have Shreddy Mercury, lead jammer now for Bridgetown. Deboucher's Prime jamming.
Shreddy Mercury is your lead jammer. Already 5 points on the board here. Porter looking for a potential star pass.
Cap Navius headed to the penalty box for a multiplayer block. Good pace as the pack picks up right where they started. And that's another 5 points for Shreddy Mercury, 10 so far.
Corey Porter still trying to complete, and now finally does complete the initial pass.
Beautiful teamwork here by the Gatekeepers. I think 3 different blockers had an impact in pushing Shreddy Mercury to the inside of the track. That's a 10-point jam for Bridgetown, bringing them up to 93 points to St. Louis's 128.
So Bridgetown down 2 blockers.
Just a 34-point differential here. Magnum up against Munster, of course.
Oh, Spin Diesel stuck his butt out at the last, and now we got a track cut on Magnum as well. So we're gonna swap jammers here.
Got ourselves another 2-minute jam on our hands. Really impressive to see how careful Bridgetown is being about which jammer to match up against whom. They've been watching a lot of footage so far this season. Every Tuesday they hang out at Il Nino's house, and their team manager, Spank, cooks them delicious food. Collins' shots fell down. Everybody at home will enjoy that.
So Magnum has now completed his initial pass. Power Jam already over.
Beautiful work by Kyle Stark. He twerks him back into the corner there at turn 2.
Magnum working his way around the outside, forced out, has to jump back in behind.
And he does that. He's trying to bait Double D into the back block, but Double D did show some discipline there.
Yep, very patient. 4 points there for Munster.
Again, great teamwork here. Gatekeepers just always doing a great job recycling to the front, staying together despite Bridgetown really trying to disrupt that strategy. Magnum looks like he's going to reach for his hat, but he just takes care of it himself and puts up 4 big ones.
Yep, 4 points there. And now a track cut on Munster right as he went into turn 3. No,
nope.
Track cut on Udendorf.
That's a cool name.
That's his real name.
Yeah.
Net Jam comes to its natural conclusion.
Blood Zeppelin. What's up, bro? Nice blocking.
So 6 points total there for Bridgetown.
Looks like 8 points apiece actually on that.
Yeah, interesting.
Bridgetown crossing the century mark, 101 to 136, just absolutely defying all expectations in this bout. Il Nino back on the line, going up against Screech around. Nino, back block.
Now, as has been the case, we can expect Screech around to get a penalty any second.
Tommy Gunn with a big force out, couldn't stay up on his feet though, so Screech around was able to continue back onto the track. He's picked up lead jammer status. Demolition Man now heading to the penalty box.
Oh, Screech around almost got through, but Cosmo with a nice hit.
Opening up that inside line to allow Screech around to pick up a grand slam, 5 points, and that's Saint. Just what a star skater he is. Nino has returned to the track. He's going to hit that back St. Louis 3-wall. Udendorf is there. I love to see the brotherhood here. There are lots of back pats.
Yeah.
And what's up, dude? That was nice.
Like I said, a lot of respect between these two teams.
That was a 7-point jam for Screech. 101 for Menace, 143 for St. Louis. We're going into the 10th jam of the second period. Jamming is Shreddy Mercury and David Metcalf. Again, St. Louis wearing black uniforms with green trim. And Bridgetown Menace wearing their dirty pajamas in gray. That's Shreddy Mercury, lead jammer.
Yep, David Metcalf still trying to complete his initial pass, getting some offensive help from Bill. Now Led Zeppelin as well.
Wow.
Oh,
well,
not
Shreddy
quite
Mercury,
enough to get past.
Yeah, he was able to hip hop, toe stop, pop right around one blocker and pick up all his points and then got forced out. So that's a 4-point pass, bringing Menace up to 105. Full blocker contingent here. Don Juan jamming up against Aboutrous Prime, who we know is Porter, correct?
Yes.
.50-50 in the lead jammer stats so far in this second period. And that's Jukebox here. You see bracing that wall of Cosmo Damage and Demo.
Saint now trying to come up and give some offense. Tommy Gunn trying to stop him. Meanwhile, Percy Control forces Don Juan out to the outside. Cycles him back.
Gatekeepers using a textbook technique to bridge back that pack as far as it can possibly go. Don Juan still working. chest bumping his way, inching around the track, and finally Porter picking up lead jammer status for Gatekeepers.
The Percy control forces Don Juan out to the outside, cycles him all the way back. Meanwhile, a big hit on Porter.
Multiplayer block being assessed now on Tommy Gun. Porter pulled all the way back by Jukebox Hero. Got stars in his eyes, I can tell.
That's right.
Don Juan, he hasn't had much purchase on this track. He's been stuck in the straightaway between turns 2 and 3 by this absolutely fierce blocking contingent. We have the Saint on the track with double XL, Hulk, and Percy control. That's rough, man.
Corey Porter through. 5 points, grand slam. Saint heads to the penalty box.
Tommy Gunn resisting the urge to make contact before he was in the engagement zone, and Porter calls that one off the ground. I didn't pick up any points on that pass, but he will take that 5 points, put it in the bank. 105 to Menace, to St. Louis's 148.
13:36 to go here in the second half.
I cannot emphasize enough. I know we're a little calm and sedated. It's the end of the day. I just worked my butt off with the ESPN bouts. But the Menace is playing the absolute best I have seen them in years, and I know them intimately. Very impressive.
St. Louis tends to bring that out in their opponents.
That's great. I mean, they're the hunted.
Yes, they are.
Jamming now is Munster going up against.
It's Kyle Stark actually.
This time.
Pushing against that 3 wall up front, the Triforce defense.
Munster is stepping up into the jammer position this year.
Spin Diesel. Led Zeppelin working on Munster right now. Kyle Stark still trying to work his way through, getting some help from Wrecking Bill.
At the outside track boundary there in turn 4, you see Captain Obvious and Austin just fighting, and they chew some time off the clock as Kyle Stark picks up lead jammer.
So Kyle Stark working against all 4 Bridgetown blockers. 3 Gatekeepers in back working on Munster. Wrecking Bill sitting in the penalty box. Some penalties being assessed.
That's Captain Obvious heading to the penalty box. That's his 4th penalty of this game.
So 5 points there for Kyle Stark as he glances up at the scoreboard.
Penalties sure are adding up. I see that Wrecking Bill has already acquired his 6th penalty. Of course, at 7, you are going to leave the game, join your friends and family and fans in the audience.
Interesting tactic being employed here by Munster. Possibly not the best idea when you're down
I
to
don't know.
run time off the clock.
The closer they get to St. Louis, the more confident they are, and they're performing so well. I think that they do want to chew a little bit of time off the clock, but what do I know?
I mean, it did work a little bit in their favor as it did kill some penalty time, but
it was an 8-point jam in this case for Kyle Stark. They extend their lead to 51 as Menace has 105 to St. Louis's 156. A little under 11 minutes remaining in this bout, this MRDA sanctioned bout here at the Big O. That's Magnum, lead jammer. And El Nino just having a rough go of it. He's going to be sent to the penalty box this time for a forearm.
And I think we've reached that point in the game where you're going to see Magnum PIMP go nuts.
I don't know what that means, but I'm really excited.
You're going to see, because he's already got 5, and I imagine we're going to see another 5 here. It's crunch time, and it's when Magnum really tends to crank it up to a whole nother level. And there's another 5. 15 so far this jam.
About to open it up here. Cosmo rejoining Tommy Gummin at the front of the pack. The Saint trying to prevent Demo from joining his teammates right down the middle. Menace not able to get too tight there. And again, we see Magnum trying to pull the directional block.
So there's 20, and I think they just got a track cut.
Yep.
Yes, they did on El Nino. So now the Power Jam refreshes. And Magnum's going to call this one off now after putting 20 on the board. And suddenly that lead balloons. And the Gatekeepers likely going to add to it as they start this next jam on the Power Jam.
Yeah, Nino, that is his 5th penalty as a jammer.
Penalty troubles for a few St. Louis players. Wrecking Bill with 6. Percy Control with 5. Demolition Man was 6 for Bridgetown. Loose Wheel was 6. Tommy Gunn, Captain Obvious, Cosmo Damage, and Herman Munster with 4 each. So a timeout here by Portland.
Got a total of 45 penalties on the Bridgetown Menace side, 40 for St. Louis. In the first half, we saw St. Louis with more than double the penalties that Bridgetown had. But the tides have changed, and we see that St. Louis calming down, getting back into their swing of things, playing their game. Bridgetown doing a great job of just screwing them up.
Yeah,
They're
St.
really
Louis
destroying their strategy. Disrupting is the word I'm looking for.
The St. Louis over the last year or so has shown itself to be a very strong team when it gets into that home stretch. They finish strong, and we're seeing that here as the lead starts to balloon, and now Screech Around starts unopposed. Has an inside line, is going to be your lead jammer.
Less than 9 minutes remaining in this bout.
Screech Around directing traffic, sealed to the inside.
Double D choosing not to recycle behind the pack, instead straddling the track boundary.
Well, if he wants to remove himself from play.
They sure could use his, sure could use him on the track, and there he goes. He did pick up a cut track penalty anyway.
So another 5 points there. Power Jam comes to an end. Oh. And Wrecking Bill is down.
Nino picking up a high block penalty.
And there's right there, shows you how close these two teams are. Jukebox Hero, the first one out there to check on Wrecking Bill. Good friends, those two.
Well, I guess, and Wrecking Bill is a beloved member of the Derby community.
Yeah,
he sure
larger
is.
than life.
Absolutely.
It looks like he took the brunt of a monster shot from El Nino.
If you're just tuning in here on track 1 at the Big O, we do have an injury on the track, and our cameramen doing the right thing, showing the team benches while our down skater receives the best medical support available.
Good time to give a shout out to all of our EMTs that have been doing a fantastic job this weekend. We prefer to not have to use their services, but we do love the fact that they are there for us when needed.
It's almost like we play a contact sport. Coming up tomorrow here at the Big O, big day, and we'll start out here on track 1 with Sacred versus Windy. Big game following that at noon, Texas versus Bay Area, followed by a Victorian versus Angel and Rose versus Denver, and that's just here on track 1. Wrecking Bill scoffs at the idea of a wheelchair and removes himself from the track, gives a hug to his buddies at Bridgetown. And even the Menace crowd is cheering, Bill, 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 Bill.
Oh, man, and this, I understand the spirit of the rule, but I don't like this. I think El Nino is going to be given another penalty for actually leaving the penalty box to hug Bill.
Unless he was ejected for an egregious penalty.
Well, that could be too.
Yeah, that's my gut feeling. Yeah, because that would have been a 6th penalty, not a 7th. Either way, he has left the track and will be taken off his gear. And Shreddy Mercury donning the cap, and he'll be taking his place in the penalty box. And they are out in full box, 2 blockers and a jammer. Cosmo.
Well, it actually looks like that was the 7th that he picked up for the illegal procedure for leaving the box. I understand
just wanted to hug you.
Yeah, I understand the spirit of the rule, but that's I really hate to see that for penalizing a guy for showing good sportsmanship.
I'm sure Wrecking Bill will buy Nino a drink later over it.
Oh, yeah.
As we get going here, Tommy Gunn and Cosmo, the only blockers on the track for Bridgetown, full contingent for St. Louis. They're really preventing Cosmo and Tommy Gunn from reforming into the chest of Cosmo. That's David Metcalf jamming, and he picks up lead jammer.
David Metcalf looks like he's got a 5th gear right now as he came shooting out of that pack. Sizing up Cosmo there. Gets around the outside, 5 points. First pass for St. Louis.
Saint really disrupting Menace from reforming their wall. You see him just waiting there to mess them up, poke some holes. Demolition Man returning from the penalty box. He's at 6 penalties. He's going to try and be a good boy. Shreddy Mercury wakes up, says hello, completes his initial pass.
Shreddy Mercury was serving the penalty for El Nino in the box. Oh, a little bit of contact there between the jammers.
And then Metcalf calling that one off. He's like, what just happened?
And we see Bridgetown players and Gatekeeper players hugging.
Score now 105 for Menace to St. Louis's 200. Again, this may look like a landslide of a game, 95-point differential, but that's sort of the Gatekeeper style. I mentioned before, the last time these two teams played at the River City warm-up, the Gatekeepers defeated Bridgetown by 192 points. What's happening out there, Star Spangled?
I'm not sure, but there's some discussion with the refs and the NSOs, and maybe somebody didn't report to the penalty box. It was a post.
Uh-oh. Well, it looks like Shreddy Mercury.
Oh, I'm wondering if they let him go too soon. Because El Nino should have spent a minute in the penalty box, at least. And I'm pretty sure they let
takesy backsies.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd hate to speculate because we just don't know what's going on right now.
All right, well, Porter on the line here for the Gatekeepers. Capnavia swings out.
Well, and I'll tell you one thing, the Gatekeepers having a much easier time getting through these Portland walls than they were in the first half.
Yes, absolutely.
So you have to wonder if maybe Portland's starting to get a little tired with the guys they've got in penalty trouble. They haven't been able to go through their whole bench.
So Shreddy definitely did not serve a full 30-second penalty there.
No.
Interesting. Three more points there. Shreddy so quick, forced him to call that off. They extend their lead to 98.
So screech around out there now for St. Louis. Don Juan, the Devastator for Portland. Both teams at full strength defensively.
Gatekeepers really breaking up that Menace wall, their tripod. I'm hearing some whistles.
Percy Control picking up
Percy.
his 6th, but it's been a long time since he's picked up a penalty.
That's good management on his behalf.
So Percy now riding dirty at 6. Don Juan's going to be your lead jammer. It's been a while since we've seen Bridgetown get the lead jam. Multiplayer block on Jukebox Hero. Streetron still trying to complete the initial pass. Gets forced out to the inside. He'll have to cycle back. Meanwhile, Don Juan being forced out to the outside by double. Oh, and then a nice quick move on the outside line. That's 5 points. Ooh, big hit.
Forearm penalty now on Saint. And Demolition Man trying to pull that cut back and forcing Screech to jump back off the track boundary. Out of play penalty now being assessed. Don Juan threw for a full 5 points, and the crowd loves it.
Yes, they do.
That was Hulk on that out of play block. 10 points so far for Don Juan.
Streetron having a real hard time with Portland right now.
Really impressed. Menace preventing most of the run backs. Double XL, of course, finds his way through. And Don Juan calls that one off. Shutting the Gatekeepers out and picking up 14 points. That's a big jam. That would be, Don Juan's a pretty high scoring jammer. In the first half, he had a 15-point jam, 14 now. Shreddy had a 21-point jam earlier in this period.
Don Juan leading all Bridgetown scoring with 42 currently. Meanwhile, the Gatekeepers have their lead scorer with 76 points, Magnum PIMP out there.
Beautiful offense there. Magnum took care of those blockers in the pack. Munster taking big hits like the champ he is. Magnum escapes for the 5-point pass.
So not lead jammer, but still putting up points is Magnum PIMP. Munster has not completed the initial pass yet. Another 5 points for Magnum PIMP.
High block now being assessed.
So the waning moments here, the second half, all St. Louis.
Oh, that's going to be a low block on Captain Obvious. Magnum PIMP with 10 so far.
And right now, 15. Right now, Magnum just making it look easy.
I don't know about that. He looks pretty tie-tie.
Oh, but only the hand out, but then he gets hit while down.
Was he down? Yes. Yes, he was.
Yeah. I mean, his feet weren't even on the ground.
Tell me I'm wrong when I'm wrong, because I'm wrong a lot.
Magnum still cycled all the way back. He's going to have to reset. Munster, meanwhile, trying to get a hit on, and now Hulk's going to get it called with a hitting a down player. Come on, guys, you know the rules.
So toe stop in the center of the track. It's Scott's.
So 24 points on that jam for Magnum PIMP.
Minute 20 and the remaining left in this game. If we take a look at this penalty, I don't even have time to add up how many penalties there are on each side, but I'm seeing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 blockers on the Menace side that have 6 or more.
So with that 24 points on that last jam, Magnum PIMP has hit the 100 point mark for this game. So Magnum has accounted for almost half of his team's scoring this game.
He's pretty good, I guess.
He's all right.
The team timeout. Good time for Menace to be exercising that, right?
Mm-hmm. So day 2 almost in the books here. It's been a fantastic weekend so far at the Big O 2016. Another somewhat full day ahead, a little bit shorter.
A little bit, but action-packed.
Saturday, but some great action. 4 more games on track 1.
14 games tomorrow.
Yeah.
And make that 15, followed by a Junior Expo bout and 2 30-minute Big O MVPs versus Team USA. And of course, we have a Team USA tryouts happening at the Willamette Lane Center in Springfield tomorrow, as well as a Victorian roller derby boot camp.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. Wow, can't quite stay. David Metcalf pushed out by Double D. Double D playing some offense there, trying to find Shreddy Mercury a lane. Was unsuccessful. Seen some arms get locked in here. Penalty now on Double D, and who is going to foul out of this game at this time.
Bunch of penalties being assessed. The Saint also on his way to the penalty box. Captain Obvious with a big hit on Metcalf.
Cosmo managing to shake off repeated hits here, staying on David Metcalf like glue. He's being assisted by Captain Obvious and Tommy Gunn. Meanwhile, Shreddy Mercury headed to the penalty box here. Power jam as David Metcalf finally picking up lead jammer, tweaking his toe stop a little bit there.
Yeah, having some toe stop issues.
So as the clock winds down, 7 minutes remaining, his team is begging him to just not engage the pack. He's like, but I want to play.
Yeah.
All right, I'll call it off. He's like, what the heck, guys? That's fine. Menace is cool with that. They didn't want them to score any more points. So we're at the conclusion of Bridgetown Menace versus St. Louis. The score of 119 to St. Louis's 227. Menace has improved by double according to score from a few months ago at the River City warm-up. And they've outperformed their rivals to the north, the Puget Sound Outcast, which is impressive. So big congratulations here to the St. Louis Gatekeepers.
So St. Louis has San Diego tomorrow at 12:30 on track 2. And then is Portland done?
Portland's done because they were great sports and they came down early on Thursday night.
That's right.
Those boys.
So Portland done for the weekend. St. Louis, one more game against San Diego tomorrow at 12:30 on track 2. That's 12:30, was that Pacific time?
Yes, it is.
So for those of you watching at home in St. Louis, that would be to what, 2:30? 2:30, right?
Yep, 3 hours.
2:30. So.
Right on.
Looking to go 3-0 here this weekend are the St. Louis Gatekeepers. A strong finish here. And a good thing, too, is we see Wrecking Bill skating in the congratulatory line. So
he loves
he's back
high
up.
fives, you know?
He's back up and looking fine. So that will close out day 2. So be right back here bright and early tomorrow morning.
That's right. First game at 10 a.m. sharp. I am Ophelia Mellons.
And I am Star Spangled Hammer signing off. Good night. God bless.